Okay, so my TED Talk is on why you should try a new sport. So before I start, I'd like to kind of start off with a question. Are you truly happy with what you're doing? And that can apply to sports as what my TED Talk will follow, but are you happy with what you do in general? So let's talk about where I started in my sports. So as a young kid, I feel like most people are somewhat either forced to participate in a sport or are just kind of pushed into it slowly. And so as a kid, I started sports when I was like 3 and kind of just moved from there. Started with my main thing, swimming, absolute stud. I was really okay, pretty decent, mediocre swimmer, but it's fine, we'll come back. And that's that. And we don't talk about the Macaulay phase, but we did spend a little time in the tennis area. And so I mainly started with swimming, tennis, and baseball. And we don't really talk about my swimming career. It was not short-lived. It was just elongated to the point where it really meant nothing, and I kind of was just forcing it. My tennis career, I've played since I was 7, and I played right before I came to Baylor and for my first semester here. And baseball was one of those other things that I played for a really long time. So we'll start off talking about my tennis career. I started when I was, I think, 7th or 8th grade. I started playing out on my country club. And in my 7th grade, I actually played for my high school on the varsity team. And as you can see, I was a lot smaller than everybody else, but I really enjoyed the sport for a really long time. I played under my college in UK, and one of the head coaches there, Coach Strada, and I really enjoyed it. I was actually pretty decent. It was one of the first sports that I really committed my time to, and I spent probably hundreds of hours playing and progressing. But as soon as I came to Baylor, I spent my first semester playing here, and I realized that while I really did enjoy tennis, I couldn't continue here. I really, really enjoyed it. It was super competitive for me, but alongside my negative mental talk and just not being able to really compete here, I decided that I probably should just try to switch it up. So I asked myself the question, was I happy? And it came down to the point that I realized that I couldn't keep continuing this, and I wasn't happy with what I was doing. So I decided to switch it up and come back to something that I enjoyed, first of all, and loved. So this past summer, I went back right after the first semester. I went into baseball the second semester and started back. I really enjoyed it. It was super fun, and I thought I was happy for a good amount of time until it came down to the point that I realized I was very, very far behind. And so I did not make the team. I decided to take a season off and just try to focus on getting better. This is a picture from I made All-Stars when I went back home for the summer, and we won the regional championship in Ohio Valley at Newcastle, Indiana, and I really enjoyed it. For a little while, I never realized how much I could really enjoy sport, and I thought baseball was for me. Sadly, it wasn't. So I went back to the same question I asked myself from tennis, and I go, was I happy with what I was doing? And it came back down to the same competitive aspect that Baylor had created, and I realized that I probably couldn't continue here, and if I did, I'd probably sit bench, and that's embarrassing to say the least, so I wanted to switch it up again and try to find something I was happy with. And alongside that, I realized that I had to be stronger if I wanted to continue with sports, and while it may not look like it, I lift a lot, I love it, and you have to find a way to improve yourself by any means necessary. Since I began lifting, I have made plenty of friends. It's my friend Elijah Turner. I love him to death. He's awesome. It's my friend Wade. We have the same name. It's been awesome, and it's something that I look forward to every morning, and I work really hard for it, and I will never stop. That brings me into my next thing, and on a whim, in just trying to chase a sport, I found football. Football was really, really interesting. I'm still going to play this year, but it was super new. I had not ever played a contact sport because I've always been the frail, kind of skinny kid. I don't know what I was thinking, but it was awesome. And this season, it was super eye-opening for me, and I really enjoyed it. And it's one of those sports that I actually truly enjoy, and I cannot wait to pursue. And when I came back to asking the question, was I happy with what I was doing, while it was kind of a very hard question to ask because it was hundreds of hours to kind of just like sit bench. I realized that for once that I was on a team that truly valued my presence and I truly valued what I was doing. And so we come down to my final thing, lacrosse. Ever since I've been searching to find a sport that I truly loved, nothing has been near as close as lacrosse. My brother played in 7th grade. He started back then, and we had never really liked playing the same sports. It's one of those things that we're trying to decide on something that we could both play and have our own time with. But it took a while for me to coax and like ask for him to let me play. But eventually, this year, right after football, he said I could play. Ever since then, I've never loved a sport the same. I loved it from the start. It's something that I enjoy every day to go to practice to, and I can't wait to get better. Surprisingly, I'm actually kind of decent at it. I made my travel lacrosse team back home, so I'll be playing alongside my brother this summer, and I'm very excited to get better and just focus on improving. So after I found lacrosse, I asked myself, was I happy? And for the first time, I could genuinely say I was really happy with what I was doing. And I feel like this can apply to anything in life where you should find what makes you happy. And you can find what you want to enjoy. And once you find what makes you happy, never stop doing it. If it's a relationship, sport, class, anything in life, if it makes you happy, never quit, ever. Because if you stop, you'll probably end up being less happy than you would have been. And never quit till you're happy. So I'm going to leave with a quote. It is never too late to be what you might have been, from George Eliot. Thank you very much.